Should you quit your job? That is a question Ricky and I are going to answer here today.
Answer, debate, talk about.
Yeah. Why? Why is it topical? Because I just quit my job.
You did?
I did.
You did.
I'm finishing up next week.
You are?
By the time this podcast is published, who knows when that's going to be, I would have already finished. So it's very topical for us. And I guess what we're going to talk about is the thought process that got us there. Because quitting your job willy-nilly probably isn't a great idea in this economic climate.
No, and... Yeah.
And I've got Ricky wondering if it was a good idea for us. I can see your eyes.
It was a good decision. Like, financially, for us, it was a good decision. And
You think taking a whole salary out of the equation was a good decision?
yeah, we're in a position where we can, like, for us personally, we're in a position where we can take one salary out. But we've got another booming business that's starting to take off. Plug, Kisa Creative. Do it, everyone.
Plug. That was nice and early this time.
I know. Save me doing it at the end. Just in case people drop off near the end, they need to get it in early.
Yeah, they can't get past the first 30 seconds, and I don't blame them.
But no, Kisa Creative starting to take off. You wanted to pursue photography, for quite a long time, full time. Your hypnotherapy and life coaching is something you're very passionate about, and those two combined would make up a full job. So it's not like you're quitting something and then going and search for yourself or in search for what you want to do. You already had something lined up. It was just getting a small percentage of your attention. So, once we did a couple of financial equations and worked out we could survive on one wage, then it made complete sense, especially, to chase something that you're quite passionate about, and we're financially able to do it.
I'm very lucky that you support me and us to do that, because I guess it's a big thing to take a whole salary out of the equation, and I think that's the number one reason why people don't quit their jobs and pursue whatever they want to pursue. Or people are scared because financial security, we're told and we're taught, is number one priority for us, because it's like, if you don't have a guaranteed income coming in, how are you meant to pay your bills? And there are a lot of them, and they're getting more expensive.
Oh my God. Just quick pause. When you mentioned a lot of bills, does everyone should just take a realization or a reflection and actually dive into how many things you actually subscribe to? Because when Janelle...
The subscriptions bloody add up, I tell you. When I did the budget, I was like, we're spending how much on what?
Reevaluate all these things we're paying for. It's like all those little $10 subscriptions a month. You're like, that's easy. It's only
Nothing,
$10. So it all adds up.
When you've got 10 of them, you're like, oh, wow.
Oh, sorry to do a bit of a distraction, but yeah, you said, you do your budget and you run your finances. Like, I just... Thinking about what we were talking about today, I was looking at, in addition to the videography, and I was like, shit, I'd rather just get a bundle, one-off payment, as opposed to another subscription that we can pay.
Those subscriptions, they're going to get you. Yeah, I've got like $1.50 coming out for Apple something, and I have no idea what that's for or how to cancel it, but I'm like, cool, it's gone out again, nice. Donating to something, I don't know what for. But yeah, every dollar counts when you've quit your job, by the way.
But no, it's you're right. People are back on track, back on topical. Wasn't actually that off topic, but yeah, back on track. People are nervous about quitting because the first thing I think about is, can I pay my bills? Am I going to be financially stable?
Which is a very good question to be asked.
It is a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very smart decision to ask yourself, and I think quitting your job comes down to everyone's life situation, right? Or what stage they're currently at, or which financial stage they're currently at. If you hate your job, you're living at home with your parents, or you're living with your partner or your wife, your husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever it might be, and they can support you for a bit while you pursue what you actually want to do, then that's absolutely fine. I've got an opinion, if you quit your job not knowing what you're going to do, it's called a gap year, and that's something you should only do when you're like 16 to 20.
Oh, is it? Unpopular opinion. Why is that?
Unpopular opinion. Most people aren't living at home. Like, when you're
most people aren't.
Like living with their parents, like at that
I
age.
would say that most people are living at their parents till they're 30 these days.
Actually, yeah, the trying to buy a house is a nightmare. We struggled. Okay. Let me look at this from another angle.
Ricky is reevaluating.
Let me take this from another angle. In your 20s,
Hey, they weren't too far ago. Thank you.
Different angle. In your 20s, you've had a job, whether it's been part-time, full-time, or whatever. You've had one for a while. So going back to the subscriptions, you've signed up for a lot of things. You know, you've gotten the taste of certain luxuries that you like to live with and don't want to live without. So those, even though you might not have overheads or rent or anything to pay, you've got other luxuries that provide you joy and happiness that you potentially won't be able to live without, or think you won't be able to live without.
Yeah, and also you spend as much as you earn.
You can get as many pay rises as you want, but you're still going to be in the same financial decision.
Yeah, because the more you earn, the more you're going to spend.
Correct.
Which is what we've realised.
What's this wee business? Just a disclaimer. Since Janelle's decided to quit her job, every day I've come home, there's been a new package being delivered. It's like she's decided to spend money with
I'm like, whilst I'm still employed, I better buy all the things because I'm not going to be able to do that. It's going to be a lifestyle change, that's for sure. But I don't even know why I interrupted. But yeah, okay, no, here we go. You spend as much as you earn. So let's say you're like, I'm on 70k, I want to earn 100k. As soon as you earn 100k, you're going to spend that on whatever, and it's going to feel like you have made no difference in terms of your salary. Like, you just spend as much as you have. Maybe you're saving more, hopefully you are, but it's like it just still disappears and you feel like you're in the same boat no matter what you're earning.
I agree. Okay, well here's a question to take us back on track a little bit. What thought pattern went through your head when you were thinking about, should I, or what was going through your head when you thought, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start pursuing my passion or things I want to do? You've always spoken about being your own boss. So what was the kicker, the pinnacle little bit that put the little needle going?
I think it's always like a lot of different things that come together. For me personally, I have always had the vision of being my own boss and being self-employed and just doing what I love for a living. I'm that typical millennial that thinks that you shouldn't have to work a day in your life if you're doing something you're passionate about. And I feel like you can monetize anything, so you can actually create a career about what you're passionate about. Should you? Because then does that take the passion out of the thing? It hasn't for me. So people say that, and I guess it depends on your mindset going into it, and anything can become a chore if you make it and if you have a shit mindset about it. But for me, it was working as a marketing manager, which is a role I always wanted, and I got there and I loved it. But then that and trying to do the photography, which was getting busier and busier, and then the coaching and hypnotherapy as well, it was too much for me to balance. And I'm the sort of person that's like, I can do it all, but does that mean that I should? And that had an effect on my health. And I think I just kind of reached a point of burnout that I knew to expect it at some point, but I was just kind of hoping it wouldn't show up. But I got so sick over Christmas. And I think that was a culmination of just doing too much throughout the whole year, well, the last few years, to be honest, trying to build my businesses at the same time as working full-time in a SLT, senior leadership role. And actually, I've realised I don't want to do it all, and it's quite hard to do it all. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's sustainable, and it wasn't for me. So it's kind of reached that head point where it's like we're so booked out with weddings in Feb that if I were to work full time plus do how many weddings, some weekends we've got 3 weddings booked, plus work full time, that's just not sustainable, and I don't want to, I'm stressed thinking about that. So that is what pushed me to kind of make the decision. And obviously also speaking with you and doing the budget and working out, will we survive if, say, I had a month where I didn't earn a single penny, which could happen, let's be honest. When you're self-employed, you don't have a consistent income coming in, you're solely reliant on yourself and trusting a little bit in the universe and all the seeds that you've planted. But there may be some months where I don't earn a single thing. I'm going to do my best to not make that a reality, but that could happen. And it's like looking at what would happen if that were the case, and how would we survive? And we did the numbers, crunched the numbers, and we worked out it would be okay. It would obviously not be the nicest. We wouldn't have disposable income that I could go and spend on willy-nilly stuff that I tend to do, but we would be okay. So I think that in itself, having that financial security of, we'll be all right, we'll make it work, is what gave me personally the confidence to go for it. But also, obviously, you felt the same. Otherwise, you wouldn't it's a joint decision, right? When you're married, or when you have a partner who's potentially going to have to foot the bills if you can't contribute.
Is it really a joint decision?
Well, it was. I planted the seed, and you were like, you know what?
It's called manipulation, babe.
It's not manipulation. I just planted the seed.
No, everything you said is completely true. And, your particular situation, so anyone listening to this, it's, those three people listening, it's not everyone's situation, it's our particular situation. So you're right. You were, it was affecting you in multiple ways. Your health, which is where you started to get sick, your photography started getting busy, and that's not just wedding season, it's newborns, it's families, and it's all stuff that requires your on-site attention at multiple different stages of the day and week. And then you were working your 9 to 5, which you had to go into the office most of the time. And then you're coming home, and then you're jumping straight onto the laptop. So you're staring at a computer screen, sitting down constantly.
10 hours a day.
Correct. And then, no time for, me, floof baby, really. And then when you did have time, you were just exhausted. To the point where you were up so much you got yourself sick over Christmas, New Year period. So for me to, because I could tell that little seed in the back of the head that you planted was leading towards that. But for me, it was an easy decision. We have enough work coming in from Kisu Creative and, your life coaching and hypnotherapy to add into the bits that we're going to slightly be missing. I can support, and we get to spend more time as a family, and then you get to pursue something you're happy about. The other thing is, which makes it more confident for me, is referring back to London. I think I mentioned it in another podcast, is, you got made redundant in London, and we're on one wage again. I feel like there's a trend going on here.
It's going circular.
So I was supporting again, and, you were good at, your thing was SEO back then, and that was what you were good at, and you started a little online SEO business in the space of a week and a half that started getting clients almost instantly, and then you started contributing again straight away. So for me, it wasn't a lack of confidence or anything like that. Like, I knew you could do it, and I knew you'd succeed, because point proven, you've done it before. And you did that before starting from scratch. Now you're pursuing something that's already semi-established or has been established, that is actually bringing an income. So all you're literally doing is taking your skill set, putting it on top of that, and enhancing what's already there. So for me, there's not a worry in the world. And I get to spend more time with my wife. You're already getting better at being more domesticated. I mean, you're making all your own. The fridge is just full of weird concoction things in there, but you're making stuff.
My own yogurt.
But like for me, when we were discussing, you quitting your job, it was an easy decision because, essentially we were forced to run a test pilot in London. When you got made redundant. I've seen your drive, I've seen your aspiration, I've seen you succeed. So I know for you to take that enhanced and put that already into something that's already established, it's going to be great. So,
I wish I had as much confidence in myself as Ricky has in me. That was so nice. I almost cried. That was really beautiful. You haven't really said that to me in that way. So that's really nice.
No fat lips. But I mean, that's our situation. There's lots of other situations where people could think of quitting their job, and I mean, it was quite hard for us to talk to all of them. Ours was, you trying to chase and pursue your passion, your life goal of trying to be your own boss and create something from nothing and make it succeed. Other people want to quit because, they're miserable and they're just really not enjoying their job. And I can talk to that because I've been into that position before.
Yeah, me too.
And again, I think it just refers back to making sure you financially can, and that financial decision is different compared to every person. I will definitely say it again, if you're doing your expenses, double check all the subscriptions you got.
See what you can cut the fuck out, because you don't need it.
God damn, I didn't realise how many we had.
Yeah, and they add up because typically they're American dollars, and at the moment the Kiwi dollar is so shit that they go and be expensive. What you said though, excuse me, I'm still recovering from a chest infection, so there's probably going to be coughs on this podcast, is...
That wine went down the breathing hole.
I thought you were coughing in solidarity.
No, you're not supposed to inhale wine.
We're so well connected.
It's just called, I'm showing empathy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We're just so well connected. We're so in tune. Zeus is looking at us like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, wrap it up. But what I really wanted to say is that financial security thing is a bit of a trap too. I think I will go out on my own when, or I will quit my job when I, have this type of security behind me. Every time I have been worried about taking a new opportunity or quitting or doing my own thing, it's always been out of fear of the financial side. And what I've really practiced this time is, last time I got made, the only time I've been made redundant, I went into a state of fear, and you can create a lot for yourself from fear. Fear is a great motivator. I'm fearing that I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. That's a great motivator to take action. But this time I promised myself that I didn't want to create a business out of fear, because it's hustle mentality. It's a surefire way to burn out if you're always worried about where your money's coming from or your next client. And I didn't want to create a business like that. So this time I've worked really hard on maintaining a trust and faith mindset, which is, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I trust that all the seeds I've been planting are one day going to take effect. They're going to grow, they're going to germinate, they're going to, I'm going to be able to reap those results, and trusting that I don't know when the next person's going to reach out to me, and I don't know what client I've had in the past who's going to tell someone what an amazing experience they've had and they're going to come to me. I don't know. I'm so not in control of that, but I'm just trying to work on the trust side that I know clients are coming, the work is coming, and actually I don't need to worry about, paying the bills, and I don't want to be focused on the fact that, I don't have X amount of weddings secured for next year yet. I think the key is taking action, but also not out of a place of fear, but a place of trust and faith that it's going to work out. And if you keep planting those seeds, they will germinate, they will, grow and flourish if you water them. And not to get into that mindset of doom and gloom, it's not working, because that's going to create more of that. That's going to become your reality. So I think really looking at your mindset, and that comes to the finances. If you think, I don't know when my next bills, like if I'm going to be able to pay my bills, I don't know where my next clients are coming from, that's going to be you're going to just fester on that, and you're not going to want to get out of bed. And so it's like looking at, what I do today is going to help my business grow, and these connections or these things I'm doing are making a difference, and having that trust and that faith that it is.
I agree. I think...
But also, sorry to interrupt, but it will be the tester in a month's time to see if that's actually working. So we'll be the experiment.
We will be. One thing, if you're not worrying about finance, and which I agree with everything you said just before, there's one thing you should definitely have, and I'm adamant on this, before you even think about quitting your job, doesn't have to be all mapped out, but have a plan. Have some sort of plan as to
benefit.
When I resign, when I give the middle finger to the big man upstairs.
Maybe don't do that, but yeah.
Just have some sort of plan to what's next. So cool. Here's my resignation. Here's my 4 weeks notice. It used to be 2. God damn it. Here's my 4 weeks notice.
Yeah, 4 is the typical time now, I've noticed.
Yeah. But yeah, here's my 4 weeks. What are you going to do? Are you just going to then work out your 4 weeks and then just figure out what's next? Or are you going to have a structure and plan put in place? Like, cool, here's my notice. What am I passionate about? What do I want to do? I'm going to go and trade me. Do I even want to, you were talking about, someone do I even want to stay employed or get a job, or do I want to go do my way? So there's multiple things you can do, but cautious of time. Maybe we could talk about that another day.
There's lots of things we could talk about on lots of days. Well, this has been great.
It has been.
This has been a wonderful first podcast. Our dog is so bored. He is huffing and puffing And
It could be that it's like 25 degrees in here and he is built for the snow.
here's Snow Dog, so that might be why.
It could definitely be why.
I think he's bored though.
I 100%
We should probably go play with him.
Okay. Okay.
Well, thanks for listening. This is terrible life advice.
This is just terrible advice.
Yeah. Don't listen to us. We don't know what we're talking about.
No.
But stay tuned, because in coming episodes we're going to talk about how my transition to, doing my own thing is going, and we're going to make it more general again, so more about life events, because I don't have a typical career anymore.
No, so it's going to be literally terrible advice, and if you've got anything you want some terrible advice on, just let us know, because Janelle's going to have a lot of free time. So
I will.
thanks for listening.
Bye.